Visualising AI brings together AI researchers and street artists to meet, talk, collaborate, and share their work and expertise with each other. But they have a goal. The goal is that they'll have a concept for a huge mural that will go onto a huge wall as their canvas here in the Brisbane public space.
Basically, we use mathematics to understand how crops work, and that's my job. But it's every aspect of it. So the bit that we focused on talking to Madeline was it was actually about how we see. So it was exactly the complement to what she's trying to do, to abstract it down. I guess I'm trying to retain more detail than you do, because what I'm trying to understand is we see things as abstract from a distance. So if we're using a satellite picture, we only see so much. And we're trying to work out how do we turn a satellite picture into a 2 centimetre resolution picture by linking it to a drone picture, for example. So the idea of being able to see detail and then extract that detail is actually, that's the image part of AI. So there's a huge number of aspects of AI, but one of the things we're focusing on a lot at the moment is how do we extract detail? So, for example, how do I count all the apples on a tree using a machine, that kind of thing. And then we, just to help us do that, sometimes we change all those apples into oranges, as if it's just like you see on a fake YouTube video. We can turn them into oranges, we can turn them into mangoes, and then count them again and learn more about it. But it's about extracting the features. So
yeah.
So it's a nice compliment, really, for an
yeah. I think we kind of, what was really fun for me is learning about the application of AI in Scott's research, and seeing how what I found most inspiring is it could really broaden our perspective and broaden our point of view. And I think a lot of the data that he showed me was just exceptionally beautiful as well, and looked like artwork in itself. But the ability, I think, you have to broaden your perspective or use AI to help better understand our environment and the way, plants grow and the climate affects plants, and then using the drones and the satellite imagery and kind of stitching together that mosaic that helps kind of expand our perspective as humans and help us better understand our environment was just exceptionally beautiful, and I found so incredibly inspiring to kind of take that and turn it into an artwork.
But I think my job is really about, I'm not an AI expert per se. I'm an agricultural scientist who happens to understand a fair bit about maths and how we use things. And so my job is actually translation. So I think of myself as a translator. So I spend a lot of time with really geeky people in the AI space, although they're not all geeky. You'll meet some non-geeky ones today, I hope, as well. And trying to work out how to translate agriculture to them and translate the results back again. So,
and I think because it's sort of this new thing, and the common narrative that we have out there is this sort of doomsday, like robots and social media algorithms, and it's really it's fantastic to see that you're applying this new technology. And helping people who don't necessarily have the expert language or understanding to see an application that is beneficial and positive, and it helps kind of change the narrative and then open people to want to maybe investigate like what AI is and how we can actually benefit from it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you build an abstract model of how to. You build your own AI model. That's what you do when you paint. You're building an AI model. I build an AI model a little bit differently. So when we model things, we're trying to... models are just simplifications of reality. That we build computer models of everything. So plants growing and trying to predict how they'll grow in the future. So we look at climate change and say, well, will this wheat variety still grow well in 20 years' time, or do we need a new one? So those kinds of things. So yeah, we take all those data streams and try to work out how to create a model that we then use to do prediction, and you take all of your view of what I talk about and what you think about and turn that into a view, which is there's an awful lot of nice parallel in it. That's for sure.
Is.
It was quite fun.
Yeah. I just straight up thought I was going into like a robotics lab, and then I was going to be like, my consciousness was going to go onto a microchip, and I was going to be downloaded into the ether.
Sorry to disappoint you.
It's fantastic. So obviously it just shows how limited my perception is, and like how the narrative that is out there has really kind of created a perception that is quite narrow. So I'm really glad I got to be a part of this opportunity just to broaden my own perspective and understanding and learning. I think when you were showing me the slideshows of the data, that was kind of my eureka moment, to see I think how positive this lens of new information is, and just how beautiful it was that AI stitched together this data, and I just found that so wonderful, and that I really could see you being the translator of this new language that we're receiving, and I just found that so incredibly exciting. And then the data itself was just so beautiful compositionally. I found that so inspiring, and that was kind of instantly where I kind of found the story that I wanted to say. And sew together,
Oh, I love it because it's got that wonderful look at different scales. The simplicity complexity thing always catches me, because that's what my job is: how to translate, how to simplify, and then we simplify it. We take complexity and we simplify it, and then we complexify it again. We reverse it. But with different input data. So that's what a lot of AI is really about, is how do you take understanding and simplify it down to a point that you can interpret it, and then you want to apply it to a new situation. So a new climate, or a new location, or a new crop, or a new challenge. There's all of these different challenges. And so you add the complexity back in.
Some of the most striking light bulb moments actually happen in a space that no one sees, and that's when those street artists and the experts get to meet and talk. What we see is the mural, the big piece of artwork in the public space, but some of the most beautiful stuff is that unseen stuff, where people are communicating in different languages, visual and verbal, to find a place where they meet in the middle. I think these researchers are often used to meeting people at a barbecue who ask them what they do, and they explain it, and no matter how much the other person gets it or doesn't, they go, "Oh, nice," and that's where the conversation ends. But when you've got the onus to actually create an artwork on a huge public canvas like a wall, it means that there's this end goal that keeps these people collaborating and conversing to the point where they're actually able to find that common ground.